Hey everyone, it's Mark. You might know me as the Bone Man Brewer, or maybe you've seen some of the barbecue that we've done in the Big Green Egg, but today we're working on an outboard motor. You know, sometimes it just takes a fresh look at an old problem to come up with a great solution. And today we're going to be working on a 1994 250 Yamaha that's got steering tube challenges. You know how it works. Over time the steering tube gets corroded and you just can't turn it, gets frozen up, and your mechanic tells you that it's going to cost you $3 grand to fix it. Well, stick with us. I'm going to show you a new way to take a look at it. All right, so today we're going to be working on this Yamaha 250. It's a 1994 motor. And a motor that's this old, it's not a surprise that the steering starts to get a little bit slow and a little bit crusty. All right, so the diagnosis is a frozen steering column. And this motor, just a few weeks ago, was frozen up. And the diagnosis from the mechanic was, it's too late, you got to break it down, $3,000. And I said, there's got to be another way. And I thought, how can I work to get rid of that old cruddy grease that gets caked up in there and get good lubrication into the bottom and the top of the steering column to help free it up? And I thought, well, if I could use some penetrating fluid, get it inside there to work it out, and come out okay. How do I get that in there? Well, I decided I could use a grease gun, take the grease cartridge out of the gun, and then fill the gun with penetrating fluid. And by doing that, I was able to pump the penetrating fluid into the grease chamber and slowly, methodically get rid of the old, crusty, salt-caked grease, have that blow out the Zerk fittings on the other side, because I undid the Zerk fittings on the opposite side, added pressure from this side, and was able to have all that old caked up grease blow out the other side. Then once I felt that I had it clean and I had good clear fluid running out the other side, I reinstalled all the Zerk fittings, and then adding the penetrating fluid under pressure from the grease gun, I'm able to get all the good lubricating qualities of that to work all the way down to the bottom bushing and all the way up to the top, those areas where the grease kind of wasn't really going and the salt is trying to find its way in. So by adding it under pressure and turning the motor back and forth, working it through, continuing to add pressure, turn the motor, add pressure, was able to get the penetrating fluid to get into those areas that were more corroded and cause it to break free. And once it broke free, then it was home free from there and just kept adding more fluid and lubricant. If you're doing this job by yourself, I just rigged with a zip tie, a little way to hold the grease gun. I'd add pressure, walk away from it, turn the motor back and forth, come back and add pressure. This is just a little shortcut if you're working by yourself. All right, I hope that was helpful. So what you saw today, we took a 22-year-old motor, runs great, had a recent rebuild about 3 years ago in the powerhead, but now had some steering problems. And so we were able to, by adding penetrating fluid, using a grease gun to bring penetrating lubricant into the steering column, we were able to free it up. The first step is we opened up the Zerk fitting on one side and flushed out all the old crud. We reinstalled the Zerk fittings, added pressure with the lubricating fluid so that it would go into all the crevices and nooks and crannies. And then once we had that, we purged air out of the system by popping the Zerk fitting so that the liquid could go higher up into the steering column and continue to lubricate. Always turning the motor back and forth so the lubricant can work its way into the top and the bottom bushing. And by doing so, we were able to take a motor that runs great, even though she's looking a little tired, now she turns and steers smoother than ever. We avoided the downtime at the repair shop and a big repair bill, over $3,000 saved. So hope this was helpful to you. Happy motoring, happy boating. Make it a great day.